Hey guys, it's Ryan, the immature dad. You know who I am, of course, by now. Hopefully, you've watched my page, you've seen a couple of my videos, even though I've only put out a couple videos so far. Um, Today, let's get right to it. Today, I wanted to talk about a couple resources that you could use to help you learning when you're new to IT. And most of these, well, no, not most of them. Some are free, some are not. You know, depending on where you work or some of your other subscriptions, you may be able to get them for free. Others are just free. So, without too much more, let's get right into it. One of the first things that I want to say that, is something that you should really look at is LinkedIn. LinkedIn is great. And a good friend of mine, I actually just interviewed him. That will be up later. His name is Josh. Not told me about LinkedIn, but he told me how good it was for learning. Because when you think LinkedIn, you just think job search. You don't think people are on there really trying to help you. But in reality, it's everything. It's like a whole community right at your fingertips. And then on top of that, you're interacting with people who are already in the field that you want to get into. Um, it's just a lot of knowledge that is just there. So I'll show you my LinkedIn, for example. If you go through my timeline, you'll just see people. Well, that's just an ad for Full Sail. There's ads everywhere. But you'll see just people posting, all their stuff. So, like Zach Hill, who is also on YouTube, which we will also talk about, he posted an interview that he did with Sylvester Thompson, who is a systems engineer. And it was a really good interview. And it's just these kind of things all throughout LinkedIn. Like everyone is trying to help. You have Heath Adams, the cyber mentor. He's a good one, especially if you're looking to get into hacking. He has a lot of good beginner courses. You should definitely check him out. It's just so much. Chuck Keith, Network Chuck, who is someone I follow religiously. You know, everyone is on here. And on top of that, when you try and get in touch with these people, like on YouTube or Twitch or something like that, usually it's really hard to get their attention because there's so many people who are trying to get their attention. But when you're on LinkedIn, it's kind of different. Like, I don't think people expect, they don't expect you to reach out to them on LinkedIn because these are just normal people at the end of the day. These are people who are job searching just like everyone else. I've talked to some of these people on LinkedIn, but when I comment on their YouTube, they've got like 2,000, 3,000 comments. They may not see it, but on LinkedIn, they'll see it. So that is definitely the first place I would start looking. An extension of LinkedIn would also be LinkedIn Learning. Let's go over to that. So LinkedIn Learning used to be Linda, and I haven't signed in yet. So let's sign in. Let's see. I'll go there. I'll be changing my email, so it doesn't matter if you guys see that. So this is LinkedIn Learning. And as you see, like over here, I have a PowerShell scripting for advanced automation class. This works just like a class. You have people who, some of these people are real teachers or instructors. They're people who work in the IT field who are showing you how to do these things. It works really well. And like I said, it used to be Lynda. Now it's LinkedIn Learning. If you know what Lynda is, it's the same thing. One of the best things about this is that they have career paths that you can kind of jump on. So pretty much what it'll do is it will give you all the courses that you need for a particular career path. So that way you don't have to just kind of like dig around. They tell you what you need. So that's also a good one to pay attention to. The next thing, which is kind of obvious, YouTube. I started on YouTube. Like, that's how I learn everything. Even now, I always go to YouTube if there's something I need to learn, like on the fly or something quick. Like earlier today, I was looking at something on Vim just because Vim is the devil. If you haven't used it, Vim is a text editor on Linux. It's horrible, but it's also very important. So I just went straight to YouTube to look it up. And if you look now, yeah, you'll see. Sorry, I look at a lot on YouTube, and I also have a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old who also look at a lot on YouTube. So you do see Coco Melon there. But like here, you have a Linux system troubleshooting guide. You can find anything and everything on YouTube. Now, I will admit, sometimes you do have to kind of dig around because it is very, like I said, it's a lot. It's a lot of people. Hell, I'm on YouTube. You're looking at me on YouTube. So you do have to dig around to find what you need. But when you do, It's great. Like I said, follow Cyber Mentor, follow Network Chuck, follow IT Career Questions. That's Zach Hill's page. There are a lot of good people on here who are teaching people these things, or people teaching people IT things and everything, honestly, for free. Like, that's how I learned how to do a vlogging setup like this. When I first got into photography, I used YouTube. I am a firm believer that YouTube eventually will shape the way for how we will learn in the next few years. I do think, like college. I'm not a big fan of college. I did go to college, unfortunately. I have student debt just like everyone else in America, most likely. I liked it, but knowing what I know now, I would not go back. I would self teach myself. And I think a lot of people will get to that point because look at Google and Apple. They just recently announced that they were removing a college requirement from their job process. That's big. That's amazing. So make sure you check out YouTube. That's a really good one. If you do like that kind of classroom structure, you should definitely check out Udemy. Udemy is it's kind of like LinkedIn Learning or like what Linda was. You do pay for each course, but the people who teach it are awesome. They are always having sales. So if you look on this page, you can see they have a 48-hour flash sale now. 12.99 for a course. That is a great deal. I have probably like 7 courses that I just purchased that are just sitting there that I will do eventually. But you can do anything. So it's IT, you can do office productivity, personal development is a good one. I actually have a class for learning Arabic. So that is definitely something you should check out. Make sure you check out Udemy. That is a good one to start with. Another one that a lot of people may not think of, and I guess this will go hand in hand with what my last two are, is Facebook. Facebook and just like the IT community in general. Those are two very important things. And I won't say Facebook is important, but because of what it offers, that's what makes it so important. You have groups. So people build groups for specific things. This one, again, this was done by Zach Hill, a certification study group. If you're studying for your Net Plus or your whatever, your CCNA, you can find a group, like a study group. Like, let's say you didn't go to school, so you don't have that networking. Let's say you don't have, like, the people around you aren't interested in IT. You want to bounce ideas back and forth, though. That's Facebook is there. It's at your fingertips. Like, you can find a group for anything, honestly. I would definitely suggest people look into Facebook, but also look into like people in your community. See if you can meet other like-minded people because that will help you a lot because people will always teach you something new. Again, I was interviewing my friend Josh the other day and he was telling me about Ansible, which was something I had never heard of surprisingly. And now that's on my list of things that I really need to learn. So definitely make sure you get involved with the IT community. It will help. I guess that also goes back with LinkedIn. All that's it's all full circle. And then the last thing, and this one I don't really have like a screenshot or anything for, labbing. You can read everything in the world. You can have people tell you everything. You can be taught everything. But if you're not hands-on and you're not seeing it, you're not going to get anywhere. You need to have a lab. And like I said, I've talked about this before. We did the software videos. Build a lab. It's not super expensive, and I know everyone's situation is different, so what I deem expensive may not be what you deem expensive, but it's not as hard to build a computer lab as most people think. All you need, laptop and internet, and the rest you can do. So make sure you lab. Lab as much as possible. The more you lab, the better. And honestly, that's it. This was just really a quick video to go over these few things. I thought this would be, something great to share with you guys. If I missed anything, you guys let me know. Tell me what you used to learn. Let me know in the comments. You know, let me know what you think of this video. Like, dislike, subscribe. Please that helps all the time, of course. But yeah, okay, that's really it. Thanks for watching, you guys, and you have a good night. Peace.